Welcome to That's What She Said, where we'll spill the tea on women empowerment in the Great Lakes Bay region with your host, Christiana Malcara.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to That's What She Said. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to invest in yourself. That's exactly why That's What She Said was created, to essentially spill the tea on women empowerment in the Great Lakes Bay region. But there's that and beyond portion. The ways that you can tune in are not just here in Michigan for the Great Lakes Bay region area. We have this awesome thing called the internet. And on the internet, there's a way to listen to podcasts, and the apps that you can find. That's What She Said on is Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Audible. Locally, my most favorite way to tune in is on Saturday mornings or Sunday evenings. Saturday at 8 a.m. or Sundays at 6 p.m. at WSGW.com or 100.5 FM and 790 AM. If you see our faces on the screen, you are listening to us live on social media on Thursdays at 1:30. We drop an episode every single week of the year. Every single week of the year, thanks to our wonderful producer, Jonathan Dent, who handles all the behind-the-scenes action every Thursday at 1:30. So I want to say thank you for tuning in all the weeks you have been, and also sharing these episodes with your friends, your colleagues, your family. I want to talk a little bit about being unique, uniquely you. As you know, I carry around journals and I scribble notes everywhere. Sometimes they get lost in the shuffle, in the car, in the book bag, but they always appear back up at the most perfect time. And I was having a conversation not too long ago about what makes you. What are the components that make you? And I know on That's What She Said, we've talked about this before, is that, 1 degree method, right? All these people that kind of you meet along your path, maybe push you a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. And then next thing you know, you look up and maybe you are not on the same path that you originally planned, but you're happy and you're there. So all of these influence make you uniquely you. And that is something that some women are challenged with, right? We have all these stages of our life. If it's, navigating through motherhood or school as a young professional or the job search at any age, all these unique experiences make you up. And being comfortable with shifting from one stage to the other is challenging. It can be challenging. So as we move forward from this That's What She Said day to the next, I want to challenge you to just really engulf yourself. What is it that makes me me? And write it down, jot it down, throw it in the comments, send me a message, send me an email. I want to know. Before we move on to our guest, I also want to say that we have something really fun coming up in the next few weeks. So I'm moving forward once a month. We're going to test something out, and I want your honest opinion. We're going to bring in a woman who's a specialist in her field, and this is where you come in. I would like some questions from you about the specialist topic. So you can follow that on our social media. You'll know her name, her field, and you can drop those questions regarding her field into the comments. And then when we interview her, we'll pull those questions up and answer them for you as best as we can. So look forward to that in the upcoming dates. Without further ado, I'm going to bring in our guest. She's absolutely wonderful, and this conversation is a long time coming. Miss Krista Moon. Hi.
Hello, nice to see everybody. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. This is something that I, like I said, it's a long time coming. We've met once before, and I don't even know how the internet guided us to each other, right?
Yeah, that's how it happens.
So it's like so exciting because I met you and we were talking about nearly anything and everything. It's just one of those conversations where we just clicked. But when you're out in the community, how might the community know you?
Well, I've been in Saginaw my whole life, pretty much. I'm a Saginaw girl. Grew up in Freeland, and now I live in Saginaw Township. And, the truth is, I've had a business for a long time. And I've been doing business with companies not in our area because a lot of them aren't fit for what I sell. So I haven't really been out in like our local community a lot. Like people might not really know who's Krista unless you come to my nonprofit website, which is getting more popular. But yeah, I've just been living in Saginaw my whole life, and I love it here, and I wouldn't move anywhere else.
I love it here too. And after this conversation, a whole lot of people are going to know who Krista Moon
Yay!
is. So, you said you grew up in the area.
I did.
A lot of women that are kind of now like this up and coming younger population, they are in the area and they're like, oh, I just want to get out from underneath mom, get out from underneath dad. I want to move. What kept you here?
My mom and dad.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. When you have little kids, like I just love my mom and dad. My mom passed away in 2015 and my dad's still here. He lives in the same house I grew up in. So it's fun to go back to your childhood home. But I moved to Grand Rapids for a little bit. I lived in Troy, but then I came back to Saginaw just because I did want to be close to my family. That's so important to me. Now my kids are older.
Mhm.
They're 21 and 22, and I do have a 6-year-old granddaughter, so you can do the math on that, my daughter.
Yeah.
But so we're all super close, and that's what Saginaw is. It's like a very family-friendly place to live. And one thing I've heard twice in the past week from 2 different people
Mhm.
is that people in Saginaw are really nice. It's a completely different experience when you come here. Like somebody was telling me that when they go to the grocery store in Ann Arbor, people just to themselves, they don't say anything. But when you come to Saginaw, people say hi and they hold the door and they say thank you. And they were just really surprised about that. But I've heard that from 2 different people. I thought that was interesting just in the past week. That's why we love Saginaw.
Yeah. Yeah. And you said family's pretty important to you.
Heck yeah.
But you said you left to Grand Rapids for a little while. What took you there?
Well, truthfully, I graduated from college and I didn't know what the heck I was going to do. And I had a boyfriend here in town that I had been dating for many years. And I had to get out of here. I just had to get away. I just had to get out of town and start my life. And so I went over there because my sister had a place. And I just crashed with her until I could get a job. And then I got an apartment over there for a little bit.
Okay. What did you study in school?
Zoology.
I'm sorry, what? Are you serious?
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
I always liked animals and ecosystems and biology and science. And so after high school, I said, oh, zoology, the study of animals and their ecosystem. That sounds so cool. I'm going to do that. And then my dad would always say, so what are you going to do with this zoology degree when you're done? I'm like, I'm not really sure. And I would talk to my advisor about it at MSU. And he literally, like, I would ask him every time I went to see him, so where am I going to work? Like, I can't envision like what my job is going to be, which, that's kind of crazy to go into a field. But he just kept telling me, oh, don't worry about it. You'll get a job. And so he really brushed me off. So then when I got done with my degree, I had no freaking idea where to apply, what to do, what I could do with this degree. I thought about going to vet school, but I knew that I can't take care of sick people or animals. That's not me. So then that's what I went to Grand Rapids. I ended up being an exterminator, if you can believe that. I went from a zoology degree. My first job was an exterminator.
Okay.
Killing bugs.
How did that make you feel? You just took this big investment.
I did.
And, it sounds like your parents were supportive in the process. And now you're an exterminator.
I know. Well, I just needed a job. And it paid $24,000 at that time. It was like in the early or mid 90s. And I could have an apartment on that with a roommate. And that's all I cared about at that time. I didn't really care about anything else except for living on my own, having a place, being able to pay my bills. And then after I graduated from college, I worked at the Saginaw Mosquito Control.
Okay.
So then you get certified to spray pesticides to do the mosquito control. And so I just took that certification and I saw that this pest control was hiring. I'm like, I already have the certification.
Yeah.
From the summer.
Halfway there.
Yeah, I'll just go do this because then I can get an apartment. I just really wanted to start my life. And I was so unsure what to do. I just was like grabbing onto anything.
So, but moving into those careers, those jobs after acquiring a degree, what did that feel like? Because that, you're talking about years ago, but that still happens. We have plenty of women out in fields that they're like, well, I didn't expect to be here.
I know.
My degree is different from what I'm doing.
It is.
What did that feel like? And what can you tell that woman that's just like, well, this is where we're at and this is as good as it's going to get?
Oh, I love that question because my son is 21 right now and he's struggling with the exact same thing that I struggled with. You can't if you can't visualize what your future is going to look like, it makes it very difficult. And if you're not sure what your purpose is or what like really your interests are, when you're thinking about a job, it's like almost impossible. It's like you just take anything at that point because you're not sure. So it feels uncomfortable, honestly, because you're not on the path that you know that you're supposed to be on. You're just on a path to satisfy what you need at this moment in time.
Yeah.
So when you're on that kind of path, you're always looking for ways to get back on the right path. So you're not satisfied. So you're looking for other jobs. You're constantly searching. You're thinking about going back to school and all these things. So until you can truly find your purpose and be excited about what you're going to do every day, I think it is a struggle.
You said find the path. The first path necessarily isn't always the best path or the easiest path. How and what advice would you give to someone who is looking and feeling defeated, looking for that path?
Well, what I tell my son all the time is, what are you interested in? Like when you do something, what is it that you do where you lose track of time?
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, where you're just like, oh, this is so cool. And like all of a sudden you look up and spend 3 hours later and you feel good inside your heart. And whether that's like reading a book or whatever, it doesn't even matter what it is. It has nothing to do with work or your job, but whatever takes your time and it just disappears for you when you're doing it. That's what you're interested in. So if you could find work that surrounds that interest, that's where you're going to really start to feel like you're on the right track. But the problem is that a lot of times you won't know that where's the money in this. And so that's the hard part. It takes time. We're humans. We have to go through these struggles to get on the right path, if we can ever even find that right path.
I was listening to a podcast recently, and they were saying that a fish in their instincts know how to swim, a bird in their instincts know how to fly. A human, a person has that instinct. It's just discovering it. It's not as easily handed to us, right?
Yeah.
And so it's that check-in, right? And so that's exactly what you're saying, which is amazingly on par for kind of where my headspace is. And like I started out the episode essentially of like, well, what makes you unique, right? What is it that makes you tick? And you're over here telling our audience, well, what is it that you love doing so much? You just lose track of time.
Yeah.
That's an amazing way to kind of navigate this path of passion, right? So what is your passion? Did you discover it?
I did. I finally discovered it after 38 years. So it took me 38 years of struggling careers, jumping jobs, always trying to look for that next thing, feeling uncomfortable. Like I know I'm heading in the right direction, but this isn't where I'm supposed to be. But the last time I got fired was the time I launched my agency to become a consultant and make my own path. And that's when I really started to come into being able to work every day, go to work and sit down and do what I'm supposed to do and feel good about it and just be excited about it. And that's what's so great when you can finally get a job and a thing that you do every day where you're looking forward to it and you have goals and ambitions and it's meaningful in your life. That's when life really becomes fun.
You said it took 38 years.
It really did. Yeah, I struggled bad.
What were some of those challenges that you are willing to share that stood out, that were those pivotal moments?
Well, I went into a sales career. So I went from the exterminator and then I started to sell the pest control services. So I went from a technician into a salesperson.
Okay.
And I just loved it so much. So I knew that felt right because I liked being on the road. I loved talking with customers, helping them make decisions. and wasn't out to just to make a buck. I really enjoyed helping people make a decision that could improve whatever situation they were doing. And I just always felt like I wasn't able to get the results that I wanted to get. Like, I was just always like, "Oh, how do I get these results?" And I never really was comfortable with the things I was selling. Like, I didn't feel a passion for them.
Yeah.
I was like, who cares about that? Like, it's not
Yeah.
meaningful to me personally. So it wasn't necessarily, oh, I want to be great at this job. I was more interested in the purpose of everything. So that's where I was really struggling. I didn't feel purposeful. I didn't feel like I was making an impact in the world that I really wanted to make. I didn't really feel like I was making a big difference. And so once I launched my own agency, then that's when then I could sell what I wanted to sell. I could sell what I felt good about. I could help customers in the way that I wanted to help them, that I felt good about. So that's
And about things that you were passionate about. So
yeah.
earlier you said, what fills you,
Yeah.
right? So you moved into zoology, to exterminating, to sales,
Yeah.
into this whole like entrepreneurship
Mm-hmm.
of I'm going to just create my own thing
Mm-hmm.
based off of the things that I learned I don't like, I don't enjoy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. And as a salesperson, so I had a lot of struggles. So I just took all the struggles I had as a salesperson and said, how can I make this better for other salespeople so they don't have to do these terrible, awful things that just make you feel bad?
Yeah.
So not that salespeople do terrible, awful things. I'm just saying, like, cold calling for business is a challenge.
Yes.
So how can I help the salespeople have an easier job? And that's what was exciting to me, because I knew I struggled. And I knew I had ways that I could help other sellers not struggle.
Fill that void.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is it that you're doing now?
A lot. Well, I still have my agency. It's transitioned because back in the 2010s and that decade, it was all about inbound marketing. It was about your website and getting people to your website. And so it was a lot about websites and blogging.
Mm-hmm.
But as our content world has exploded and
Yeah.
social media has exploded, things are changing now. And I've moved into more of a leadership role rather than just being like a marketer. I'm a revenue architect. So I work specifically with sales leaders and marketing leaders and helping them build the system that the sellers and marketers can use to be successful. So that's been pretty fun. And so that's my business side, but I also have my nonprofit side, which has been my purpose the past 2 years. Michigan Women, I do voter guides so that when you go to the polls, you know who you're voting for and what they stand for.
Michigan Women.
Yeah, Michigan Women. And that's been very prevalent in my life. I've been putting tons of time into it. I've come so far. I'm really excited where that's heading. But the business makes the money. It's my skill. It's what I've learned over the past 25 years. And then the nonprofit is my passion, my purpose, and what I'm trying to do for the community.
So why is it that you chose Michigan Women to pour this extra energy into, right? To pour this passion into? What is it that you saw that I need to create this? What gave you that?
Yeah, that's a good question, because as you could tell from the beginning of the show, I really love Saginaw and I love where I live, and I want people to love where they live, and I want people to come here and be happy. And I want to have a good community where it benefits everybody. And so I've been interested in politics, but when I go to vote, what is the school regent board of education? What do they do? What does a county commissioner do? I have no idea. How do I know who to vote for that? I don't know any of these people. Even like for governor or senator, I don't know these people. And when you go online to try to research, I mean, hours, like there's articles all over, it's spread all over the place. And then also I was so I couldn't figure out like all the districts. You got your state senate district, your commissioner district, your there's like 5 different districts, your precinct. I'm like, how do I remember all these numbers? So every election season I would write it all down on a little note card. And it was just frustrating me so much. And the way I learn is through websites and blogging, because that's what I've been doing for all these years.
Yeah.
I'm going to create a website and a blog where I can just learn this. And then as I learn it, this is the best part, is as I learn it for myself, I'm just going to share it with other people. Because if I want to know this, I'm a 53-year-old woman that is interested in this. I listen to news. I'm very engaged, and I still don't know anything. So if that's me, there's a lot of people out there like me. And if I share what I've learned with online, then maybe other people will want to learn it as well. So that's what's been driving me. And I'm so passionate about getting more women out to vote and voting beyond surface level, emotional, incendiary things that make us feel uncomfortable. Like, let's look at the issues and what we believe and get that lined up, and then choose candidates that align with our beliefs rather than just voting for the party because we're in this cult or whatever we want to do for these parties that we.
So essentially, it's you're researching and sharing information that is neutral, that's across the board, as from what my understanding is. And I have to say, this is far from zoology.
It
Is it?
Yeah, zoology was just the first step. I also have a teaching certificate because after that I went back to school to be a teacher. I'm like, no, I don't want to be a teacher. So I always just been attracted to the sales and this marketing and this educational piece. I think that's one of the reasons why I love sales so much, because I'm educating.
That's a really good point. The act of informing, the act of educating, and in a way, I think you kind of are using that teaching certificate here, right?
Yeah.
So we are going to take a quick break, and we're talking to Krista Moon, who has navigated through life from trial and error to find her path, which we are landed on. And we are going to dive a little deeper into that conversation in the second half of That's What She Said with Christiana Malcara. So tune back in, and we will see you shortly.
That's What She Said with Christiana Malcara is back. Now let's spill the tea.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming back to That's What She Said. I am so excited to share my guest, Krista Moon, with all of you. She's a rock star who is just navigating her way through the Great Lakes Bay region, one click at a time, informing the community about the political world and what's happening, but also information targeting women, encouraging women to get out, vote, and to learn, to go and be an educated voter, which is an absolute honor and privilege to vote. The backstory on my voting was, I'm my senior year of high school. I'm 17 years old, and that was in 2007. Was my senior year of high school. So all the teachers, last day of school, across the board, they were like, when you turn 18, do not forget to vote. Do not forget to vote. And that was one of the messages that was like, I spent this entire high school career, learning all these subjects, right? All the maths, all the sciences, all the, everything. But that one piece of advice across the board that my high school teacher said is, when you turn 18, do not forget to vote. And that just stuck with me. So I do not miss a voting cycle. I am out there, and I take my little ones with me just so they're familiar and comfortable with the space. But not all women, not all people have that amazing encouragement at such a young age. Did you?
Well, not really. My parents, it was never really talked about that much. I mean, they would vote, and I've always known that I should vote, and I have voted, but it wasn't like a big conversation. But I love your idea about getting young people involved to vote. But the thing is that you go through all these high school years, but they don't really teach you how to vote.
Yeah.
They don't teach you anything. I mean, you barely even know how government works by the time you get out of high school.
Yeah.
So part of my Michigan Women website is literally an education tool about how government works. I'm still building all this out, everybody. So there's lots more work to do. It's a work in progress. I've made a lot of progress, but there's still more to do. But how does government even work? Like, what are the branches of government? Like, literally, I felt so stupid when I started this website. I'm like, wait, legislative, like, what are the 3 branches of government? I had to remind myself.
Well, because we learned that maybe 11th grade. And then
Oh.
here we are, in this, political realm where it's like, yeah, go out and vote, vocalize your opinion
Yeah.
and, practice this. And then
Oh,
we're
what?
trying to think back of what was 11th grade like, what is it that we had to learn? So I love the fact that you're finding information, neutralizing the atmosphere, and then sharing this and targeting the women voters. So, what's the website one more time?
Mish Women, MICH women.com.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, I commend and appreciate all of your hard work. And yes, I would imagine a website that is politically based, what did you call it? Voter guide based.
Mhm.
I imagine that's always a work in progress. It's always going to be something happening and adding to that. Before our break, you mentioned that after graduating college, you decided to go back to go into teaching.
Mm-hmm.
What was it that you wanted to accomplish by going back?
Right. Well, I knew I wasn't going to be an exterminator forever. That was just a
Are you
stepping
sure?
stone. And I didn't know what to do. I mean, honestly, the truth is I had no idea what to do. And so I would be talking to my parents, and my dad would just say, you just need to pick something. And he said, well, maybe you should be a teacher. So I was always listening to my dad. So I go back to school to be a teacher. And after my student teaching, I'm like, I don't want to be a teacher.
Okay.
So I spent another $10,000 on school, and I did the whole thing. And as soon as I graduated, I'm like, I'm going into sales. So I ditched 2 degrees completely.
How did Dad feel about that?
As long as I was happy, he's all good.
That's beautiful.
But so yeah, it's just a matter of not knowing your path, not understanding where to go, not understanding what makes me unique and where my place is in the world.
Do you feel like a unique person?
I do feel like a unique person, and I did want to circle back to what you said at the beginning, because as you were talking about that, I just had my son and I have been having tons of conversations because he's in this space trying to figure everything out. And it's like, what makes you unique? And it's, if you think about it, every single person has a completely different experience. Even right now, I'm talking to you and you're talking to me. I see something completely different from what you see. I'm here because I'm looking at you and the sign behind you, and you're looking at me. And so we're not having the same experience. We're having 2 different experiences. For every single person listens to different things, has different conversations, walks a different path, drives where they drive. And those experiences make us all unique. And so it's very interesting when you think about it, how different we're all living our own reality in our own world. We're not even like the same in the same world, basically, as other people.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that. I was introduced to someone recently, and there was a few people standing there, and person 1 introduces me to person 2, and then person 3 says, oh, I didn't know you did that. So it's one of those perspectives where not only are you as a woman getting a new experience and a different perspective, but also outside entities might view you differently too.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Right. So, my Krista Moon is a coffee shop gal, right? Who we just, sit around, sip coffee and giggle. But, that's a different experience for someone else that is, has the pleasure of having your company. So when we talk about being unique, what stands out in your life experience so far that has shaped you in the biggest way?
That's a good question. So what shaped me in the biggest way? I think honestly it's just been all the experiences I've had over life, because we all go through our traumas, we go through our easy times, our hard times. I mean, I've been married, I've been divorced, I've had cancer, I've got a rare disease, I started a business, I had all these. So that's what makes me unique is the experiences that I've had over the course of my life. And so it's really nice to take and everybody to feel good about your own uniqueness because you have a purpose. Everybody has a purpose and a space to fill because nobody in the entire world can fill your space. There's not one single person. You're the only person that can fill the space. And so that's what makes us unique and bringing that to the forefront. It's just us, people.
You casually, oh so casually, Krista, breezed over the fact that you have had cancer and have a rare disease.
Yeah.
Is it okay to unpack those right now?
Sure. If you want to go down that path, I'd be happy to. It's definitely an interesting part of my life. And it definitely shaped me to be the unique person that I am, 100%.
When did you have cancer?
When I was 38. So my mom had breast cancer when she was 32. We have the BRCA1 gene, so that we didn't know. But then I got it when I was 38. And then my sister ended up getting it when she was 56, I think, or 55. And so this is a family thing. And yeah, I had a double mastectomy. They wanted me to do 8 chemo treatments, but I only did 2 of the 8 because I never even wanted to do one. I just wanted to heal myself naturally. So like at that point, so that was the stopping point. You're doing everything wrong. So I changed my diet. I changed everything. I changed my mindset. I got really healthy. Just little side note, in August, my first husband moved out. In October, I found out I had cancer. And I had a 4-year-old and like a 6-year-old or like 5 and 6. I can't remember. My kids were like really little.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm by myself going through a divorce with this cancer. So and at the same time, I started my business in August 1. My husband moved out. My unemployment was running out July 31st. I got my first client in August. It was very stressful time.
Sounds like it. It sounds like it's a lot to navigate and a lot to juggle at that time. What you said you had to change your mindset. You said I had to change my mindset. Essentially, I'm going to assume to overcome what you did. What was the tool? What were the tools that you used to change your mindset?
Well, when you're faced with a cancer that they're telling you you're going to die, you don't do these specific things and you don't agree with the things that they're telling you.
Mm.
You have to figure it out. Like, what steps am I going to take to heal myself? So, I mean, I just turned inward into what I felt in my heart was the right path to do. I can't really explain it more than that. It was a lot of research and angst. It was a lot of family begging me to do the chemo treatments when I didn't really want to. And research, I talked to people. I reached out to everybody I could reach out to find out what their opinions were, what their experience was.
Mm-hmm.
And I just took all those experiences and ideas and just made my own path. And that's what I do. I make my own path. And I encourage everybody to make your own path as well.
And it worked.
And it did work, thank goodness.
Yeah.
But that was the other thing that I had to do because when you go against what the medical facilities are telling you to do because you're not in agreement with it, you have to be 100% okay with whatever the outcome is. So I had to tell myself, I'm quitting chemo. That's it. I'm doing it. It's not right for me at this time. And there's a chance that might not work out very well for me. I might die from not doing the chemo, but I might die from doing the chemo.
So you were okay with being okay with the unknown.
Exactly. And that is a good point. That's perfect.
That can be challenging. The unknown is the scariest place to be. And you're saying to our listeners, yep, I stood there and was like, well, this is where we're at. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, whatever happens, happens. I have to be okay with it. No regrets. Like I couldn't move forward with quitting chemo and have any regrets, because then I would probably just even get sick again, because that would just be a negative frequency in my life. So I had to just be okay with it. So this is it. And I'm going to just plan that this is going to work out.
So for our listeners that are experiencing the unknown, whatever that might be, health, job, family, children, all of these possibilities of unknown, what are some tips you would give her to help her gain strength in that part of her life?
So having strength through the unknowns. Get that faith in yourself. I don't know. I guess you just can't be afraid. You can't be afraid of what's going to happen. You have to have confidence that no matter what happens, you can deal with it, that you'll have the strength and the courage to get through it no matter what. And if it turns out to be the end, then honestly, you got to kind of be okay with that as well. That you lived your life well, and you did everything you could do to make it good for your family or whatever is important to you. And just to be okay with it. You just have to be okay with like the outcome.
It sounds like a release. Like a release of control.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good way to put it. A release of control. And some people might say, give it to God, give it to your higher power. And I did that for a while. I'm not really religious, but God, I trust you. Spirits, my spirit angels, my spirit guides, whatever's out there helping me, I trust that you're going to lead me on the right path. And if tomorrow is the day that I leave this planet, because then that's what's supposed to happen, and my kids will be okay because that was supposed to happen, and other people will step in and help them if that's what's supposed to happen. Of course, I didn't want that to happen.
Of course. Of course. And
I
I'm
did
glad
everything
you're
in my
here,
power
Krista.
I prevented everything in my power to prevent that from happening, because I knew that they needed me. But I also knew that if I left this planet to this other realm, wherever that may be, that life goes on and they would be fine.
That is extremely brave and confident of you. The confidence, I think, pairs back to being comfortable with being unique. I think that those two things pair together.
I think you're right.
Because when you really embrace yourself, that's kind of when it's okay to embrace these experiences that tag along, right? Do you think that you're an optimistic person?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I'm a salesperson. You have to be optimistic. Well, you're getting told no all the time.
Do you think you sold yourself on being healthy?
What do you mean by
like
that?
when you had cancer and you said, I had to change my mindset. Do you think you pitched yourself and was like, you know what, Krista, we're selling healthy. You're going to be healthy.
Yeah, I did 100%. I would have meditation sessions, and I would visualize my white blood cells, little army guys attacking the cancer cells, and I would visualize that in my head. And I just wanted to learn everything. I've always been pretty healthy, but before I had the cancer, I would enjoy, some beers, maybe too many. And I would enjoy a lot of pasta and a lot of ice cream.
So it was a lifestyle change.
Yeah, it was a big lifestyle change.
From my perspective, sitting here listening to your story so far, this journey of life, it sounds like a lot of shifting, a lot of changing, a lot of movement in the place that you exist now. Are you comfortable here?
You know what? I'm happier than I've ever been. And it's because I found my purpose. And that is why. With Michigan Women and having that, being able to take all this angst I have inside about having a good community and working with my community to make it a great place for us all to live. Having a place to put that energy has just been amazing. Super great. And then with my business as well, I finally feel like I have the skills, because I've been doing this for so long. When you're younger, and I'm a 30-year-old talking to 60 or 55-year-old leaders, I might, us women, we can be a little bit intimidated sometimes. by that. So finding the strength to come into my own as a business leader and be able to have those peer-to-peer conversations, which I've always strove to do and pretended to do, but now I actually do. Like, I'm like, I know what I'm talking about. Like, nobody can tell me anything. Like, I've been doing this for 30 years. I can understand how this whole system works. So the whole confidence of my skills makes me very comfortable now too. So, and also the main thing, Christiana, is I told my son that this week, I can finally, after all these years, see my path ahead. I can visualize my future. I can visualize my future with my business because I never really was able to just get clients here and there, just enough money so I can provide for my family. But now I can see how that track is going. I started Michigan Women, and when I first started it, I couldn't really see like what the outcome of that was going to be. I just knew I had to learn this information and I had to get it on paper and I had to get it online.
Yeah.
That's all I knew. But now that I have the structure and the framework built out, I can see it. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait for another year of this Michigan Women. It's going to be a completely different organization.
I see you light up when you talk about it, and that's really exciting. So earlier I was talking with a woman who is early 30s, and this was off the air, probably over coffee. I have a lot of coffee, guys. And she had said, I can't wait to get to that point in my life where I'm the expert at this.
Yeah.
And what it was is she was applying for a job and it says, oh, you need 5 years experience of this. She's like, how am I going to gain 5 years experience when I'm only 31? Right? Like I didn't get to do the thing yet. Right. So that's what you're saying. You zoology, teaching certificate, exterminator, sales. And now here you are. So to that woman who was, trying and is like so frustrated, I was like, I'm not there yet. What advice would you give her right now?
I would say just what we've been talking about. Find what you're interested in and just keep doing it. And don't be afraid of the unknown. Like, don't be afraid to take a chance. I'll come back to my son. I just keep coming back to him because he's in this space. And it's like, I thought about this yesterday with him. He's working, he's doing his thing, he's not sure what to do. And I know that as soon as he decides, I'm going to do this, he's going to light up because he's going to make a decision to do something. So it's like, what I would tell that woman is to make a decision.
To make a decision?
Yeah, make a decision. Don't just float along.
Because you can always change your decision or make another decision.
Yeah,
you can always make. I like that. You could make a decision because you could always make another decision. So before we close out here in the next 2 minutes, can you remind us of the website of the nonprofit and of your business? Let's throw that one out there too.
I appreciate you for letting me share. So marketing, revenue architect, we're working with VP of sales and VPL marketing to build your sales system and your marketing system. That's Ascend Business Growth. So that's my job skills. And then I take those job skills over to Michigan Women, michwomen.com. And that's where you're going to learn about the election. You're going to learn about the election issues. You're going to get beyond the surface level, emotional things that all of these organizations and corporations are trying to push on us. And you're going to understand the issues in your community that matter to you. And you're going to match up the candidates that align with your values instead of just listening to commercials and those brochures. So I just want to let you know, all this election information is coming out. You're going to be bombarded this summer.
Oh, yes.
With a million things. Take all those brochures, throw them in the garbage.
And go online to Michigan Women. So if we could just say one word that you could pass along to a woman of the Great Lakes Bay region, what would that be?
The word is, I'm going to go with decide.
Decide. I like that. Well, thank you so much, Krista, for coming on. That's What She Said. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Krista Moon, and that's what she said.
Appreciate you.